One of the first things you would do, Joe, in finding a motive is do what? Follow the money. I told you everybody knows each other. They all have something to hide. The question you should be asking now, okay, Dan, I think you laid out how these people know each other. Bolton, Pinchuk, Atlantic Council, Burisma, Hunter Biden, Joe Biden. Okay. So what? What are they hiding? Well, let's start here with a piece we use often from the Washington Examiner by Sarah Westwood. This will be up in the show notes again. It's older. This is from 2016. We use it a lot, though. And it is worth your time. If you want to read the notes associated with the show and the articles, go to bongino.com/newsletter. Subscribe to our email list. I will email you these articles every day. If you haven't read this article yet, we bring it up often on the show. Please do. It is extremely important. Headline: emails show Clinton denied, then met with a Ukrainian donor. This can't possibly, Joe, be the same Ukrainian who paid John Bolton for the speeches, right? That would be crazy time. So let's go into the Washington Examiner piece and take away. Here's portion number one of the piece. Emails made public on Tuesday, again, this is an older article, show a Ukrainian businessman and major Clinton Foundation donor was invited to Hillary's home during the final year of her diplomatic tenure. Despite her spokesman's insistence in 2014 that this Ukrainian donor never crossed paths with Clinton. Wow, while she was serving as Secretary of State. What are they hiding here? Who is this donor? No way. Victor Pinchuk, the same guy who paid Bolton. How is that? Victor Pinchuk, who was given up to $25 million to the Clinton Foundation. 25. Am I reading it, Paul? Am I reading that right? Does that say 25? That does say Victor Pinchuk, who was given up to $25 million to the Clinton Foundation. Crazy how Bolton, too. This is just nuts. Appeared on a guest list that was sent between these Clinton staffers, Huma Abedin, and so his name appears in this. And Abedin noted in a subsequent email that the gathering would be hosted in Clinton's home, where Pinchuk is invited. This is where it gets good. Amid scrutiny of Clinton's ties to Pinchuk in 2014, I'll explain to you why in a second, the Democratic nominee spokesman, Nick Merrill, said Pinchuk had never met with Clinton during that time. He told the New York Times that the Ukrainian businessman was never on her schedule. Ladies and gentlemen, that's despite the fact that we have the emails showing that he was invited to her house. Her house. House. Not office. Not to have coffee at the local Potbellies or Starbucks. Her house. Not Old Ebbitt's Grill. This guy got invited to the house. But for some reason, Joe, the Clinton spokespeople are like, no, we don't know this guy. Reminds me of that famous Mariah Carey gif when she's asked about, was it J-Lo? And the gif, you ever see it? I don't know her. I don't know her. Remember that one? I love that one. It was meant to be a diss. This isn't meant to be a diss. This is meant to be a footprint, sand, cover your footprints. But what were they covering? Pinchuk, who pays Bolton, who sits on the Atlantic Council, who partners up with Burisma, who hires Biden's kid. All of these people know each other. They know Clinton, too. Apparently knew her when she was at the State Department and needed something. What did they need? Well, let's go a little further down in the Washington Examiner article, and you'll find out this little gem, that Pinchuk had a company, this Ukrainian gentleman, millionaire. It was a manufacturing firm, Joe, called Interpipe. Interpipe? What happened with Interpipe, and why would they need the Clintons? Well, Interpipe came under fire last year after it was accused of shipping oil to Iran in violation of international sanctions in 2012. Pinchuk's access to Clinton is yet another example of a foundation donor who may have found favor with their State Department team. Remember that story? Pinchuk's company, Interpipe, was under scrutiny by the State Department for possibly violating sanctions against Iran and sending them equipment over $1 million and products that they shouldn't have.
Yes, I do.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember what I've told you over and over again. And I got more coming up on this in a minute with Flynn and else. Please, the takeaway from the last 2 weeks of shows: impeachment, fake whistleblower gate, Spygate, Muellergate, these scandals, they're fake scandals, are all being run by the same network of people whose names appear over and over and over again. Pinchuk, Ukraine, Spygate, Atlantic Council, people involved in Spygate, Evelyn Farkas going to work for the Atlantic Council, sponsored by Pinchuk. It is all an effort by these people who have been involved. And to be fair, ladies and gentlemen, the efforts to influence U.S. policymakers through lofty speaking fees, appointments to boards is not a Democrat-only thing. Republicans have done this too. Mm-hmm. But the purpose of this week of shows is to show you that this is not a conspiracy theory. We can question the motives. You can, rightfully so. It's fair for you to say, well, Dan, that doesn't prove, Pinchuk was bribing Bolton. I didn't say that. I did not say that. I can't get in Bolton's head. I don't know why Bolton did what he did and sold out the president. I have no idea. My suggestion here is not that he was bribed. I'm simply telling you that these people are all connected to each other. Money changes hands, position changes hands, favors change hands. Biden's kid getting appointed, Bolton getting speaking fees, Pinchuk getting an invite to Clinton's house, the Clinton Foundation getting $25 million. Ladies and gentlemen, the motives portion of this is up to you to figure out. I'm simply telling you that in a normal media environment that was interested in finding a possible motive, one of the first things you would do, Joe, in finding a motive is do what? Follow the money.
Right.
And outside of this show and some Twitter warriors, and I mean that as a pat on the bill, legit pat on the back, the people who've done amazing work. Nobody's doing that. Because when you follow the money, Joe, this is what you find.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud. And follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.